Back at Traderbakers. Wee.
And I had no idea how it was hooked up. It was probably a good thing because I got the old one at home and saw what had happened, and I would have never figured it out.
Alright, coming back in. Last time we got to right about somewhere right in there. Alright, so now we have all of this left to get through. Hopefully we can do it before my battery runs out. Alright. I've already found something very useful. This is a 30 amp electric heater, and it looks very solid. You can see the coils back there, and then the fan in front of it. Kind of see it. Thermostat is on the back. There. I need this for this winter in my studio. And I've got a way of hooking up a 30 amp plug now. Dad helped me out with that. So, it's $50 though. There's really no way of testing it. But I'm going to take the chance because I really like the hefty, solid way this thing feels. It feels like quality. And it's... you can hang it. Ooh, I'm shaking it so heavy. That'll keep the studio nice and toasty this winter. Without all the little buddy heaters everywhere.
459 is the booth.
It's a draw knife with actual work polished handles that are still snugly in place for $29. So sharp they've put packing tape over the blade so people don't cut themselves. Okay, I found another draw knife. This one is for $32, so it's a little bit more than the other one that I found. But this one, the handles look a little more solid, like they are. There's no chance at all they'll ever move. And they're adjustable. You can actually loosen the wing nuts and move the handle in, so you could put that into a toolbox easier. Or if you want to have a wider grip, you can move them out. That is really, really well made. So for the 32, and it's got that light. It's wider, nice and light. I'm going to say I'm going to put this one back and just get this one, the 32. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I got another VCR. This is your best kind of VCR to buy. You can tell they were made later in the life of the VCRs because it's got the DVD player on the side. And it says 4-head right here. These are the kind that will adjust the tracking automatically. About the best kind you can buy. Would have been even better if it had the remote with it, but whatever. $5. So now I've got one for the studio and one for the camper.
And I haven't got so lazy I can't reach up and push a button.
Exactly. These always cracked me up. The way that Hawk will actually put his arms down and push along. Horror! Grr, grr, grr. Look at that, there's a Hydra symbol on the front. Well, I wound up with 2 buggies. Hey, I'm out of town. I don't get to shop here often, and it's a treasure. It's a gold mine out here at Traderbakers. Alright, I'm going to go over all this stuff that I bought as fast as I can, but it's probably going to end up taking a long time anyway because there is a lot of it here. Also, be forewarned that there's going to be a little bit of wind noise because I cannot turn off the AC in its position behind the phone there. It's just too hot to turn it off. And there's going to be some plastic rattling noise. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to show all the Jello molds that I bought. If you don't know, I absolutely love finding old recipe books from the 1930s and 40s when they were using Jello to stretch their dollar and make small portions stretch to feed a bunch of people by adding Jello to it. And they were coming up with some weird ones like spaghetti ones and savory like sausage in the Jello and all kinds of stuff. To recreate a lot of that, I started collecting Jello molds. from that time period, and it's gotten to be a little bit of an obsession. I think I may have collected too many by this point, but still, I'll just show them to you. I got another one of the heart-shaped ones. I think I have 2 of these already. This was in the Halloween kind of decoration area. It's more of a modern thing, so it's out of plastic, but I like the idea of having a Jello mold shaped like a brain, especially if you make it out of something like green or something like that. It doesn't always have to be pink. This big one here is going to be for one of those really strange ones, like when you put Vienna sausages in there or something like that, and you really got to pile it in. And what's cool about when they make them with these, like if it's vegetables or something that they put in it, like a vegetable salad that they put in, then they put this on a big serving plate, and then they will pile other vegetables in the middle, or they might put a little dish with some dressing in the middle there. So this is the first time I've seen one this big. Had to grab it. It was like 50 cents. A couple that aren't copper, this one and this one, and they were 50 cents a piece. Really unique looking designs on those. And then I got this set of 10 that's the personal size, and I'm not sure exactly what, I just couldn't pass it up. Only $3 for 10 of these. I can imagine doing a lot of decorations around a serving platter or something with this. I also got personal size copper ones with kind of this Victorian style design on it. Only 3 of those, but it was too cool to pass up. Alright, so that is all of my Jello molds. Alright, I also got an original solid aluminum, this is actually hefty for being aluminum, bundt cake pan. And this one has even got the word Bundt, I think that's the brand name, right there on it. And below that it says Northland Aluminum Products, Inc., Indianapolis, MINN, USA. So this was made at a time period when there was still manufacturing in the USA, and this is solid and hefty. Even though it's made out of a light metal like aluminum, it's got some weight to it. Could not pass it up for $5. I'm planning on using it to make like a cream cheese pound cake or a big apple cake at some point. Yeah, it'll probably sit under the cabinet for a while, but still, hey, it's mine now. What else did I get? Oh, yes. Got this hatchet here. It's nice and lightweight, and it feels like the handle and the hatchet itself is fairly solidly connected. There is no play there at all. You can even see a nice tight screw right there. It was only $5, and I'm thinking of if I was to hack off a bunch of bark from a log, and it's going to take me a long time. I'll probably end up getting blisters even with a leather glove on. But to do that, I'm going to want something that's nice and light, like this. And it can hold an edge and really rake off a lot of bark with each swing. So this just seemed like the perfect kind of thing to plan on using for that. So when I go to make uprights and stuff for my carport that I plan on making and things like that, this will definitely come in handy. That also brings us to the drawl knife I ended up getting. I showed that to you while I was inside. It's $32 adjustable right there. Really happy to have finally found that. But at the same booth, I found this, and it's called a cup press. Okay, so you can see how it works right there. And this was $15. And Joe was telling me that, I mean, it can be used for a lot of things, but I think it's most commonly used for persimmon pudding. There's a lot of wild persimmon trees around here, even all the way as far as Indiana. And they grow and produce a lot of persimmons, even completely unattended. You don't have to spray them with insecticides or prune them every year. They just put out a lot of persimmons. So you gather them up and you put them in here, and so then you just press it through, and it's a way of, like, the seeds will stay on the inside, and then you get all your pulp and juices and everything that come out the bottom, and you collect that, and you can make jellies with it, or pudding, like it's like a persimmon pudding. That's a very common thing around here. So yeah, I was happy to have found that. Be able to take advantage of all the persimmons I've been seeing up there in East Tennessee. All right, on to some of the media stuff. I got this plushie of Luigi for $1, which is, if you've ever seen the ones like this over in GameStop, they go for like $10. I got a Xbox 360 game that it looks like it's kind of a Western / steampunk style third-person shooter that I was very interested, wanted to see what that gameplay was like. Sonic All-Stars Racing, and this one has the tagline that it includes Banjo-Kazooie. I think there's another one, another version that doesn't, that's not as expensive and more common. A couple of PC games for the Windows 95-98. They're Lego games, but not the real common, like Lego Island and stuff. These are a little more off the beaten path. This one's called Lego Loco. It looks like it's a Lego version of SimCity, or something along those lines. It doesn't have the front cover, so I'm hoping there's not some kind of copyright protection code that was supposed to be on that manual that I'm missing now. I really hope. And then I got Lego Chess, which is, well, Lego Chess. And Tetris World PC version. Of course, there was a PS2 version and I think a GameCube as well that are probably just as good, but you know, to have the PC version to kind of put in the shelf there with it kind of makes things feel a little more complete. Okay, yeah, we are actually almost done already. I was making short work of that. I got a vinyl record called Kids Praise 3. And I've taken a good look at it, and it looks like it's in very good condition. No warping, no scratching that I can see. And this character is very dear to my childhood. His name, right here in the middle, the blue one, his name is Salty the Singing Songbook. And when I was a kid, and probably still true to this day, to my family, it was very important that they got the kids involved in dramas and like that long summertime to get our time filled with like little plays and puppet shows and dramas and stuff that we would put on for our church. Our little kids group would. And this was a very popular character to recreate. We would do puppet shows to these songs. We'd do little plays around them. We actually had one of the guys in our church that dressed up like Salty. He had the blue paint on his face. He had the big songbook made out of foam all behind him, and he was a big singing songbook that walked around and interacted with the kids and introduced the next song. And it was like a Gopailan and the Music Machine and Anthony the Ants, Ansylvania. Yeah, if you guys were kids in the 90s and your parents were very religious and they still wanted you to have a good, happy, fun entertainment time, and they would go to the Christian bookstore, and there was a bunch of them back then, and they would get stuff like that, and it was great. That stuff it was fun to listen to. It was fun to play along with, and this was one of them. This was one of them. My parents still have a lot of the records that they used during those times when I was a kid in a big collection underneath a record player right in the living room. It's a big old stack of them. And this is going to go in there with them. For 50 cents, it needs to go in there with all the other ones. Cranston, Thorndike, and yeah, all that. All right. That's it. That's all. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, make sure to go ahead and give me that thumbs up like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to turn on notifications by going over, hitting the bell, and then selecting all. I'll talk to you down in the comments, and then we'll do it for Traderbakers Part 2, this time completing the entire store and buying a lot of stuff. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.